Detective Sarah Chen stared at the package on her desk, her brow furrowed in confusion. It had arrived that morning with no return address, just her name scrawled in spidery handwriting. With careful hands, she unwrapped the brown paper to reveal an old, battered music box. As she lifted the lid, a hauntingly beautiful melody filled her office. The tune was vaguely familiar, tickling the edges of her memory, but she couldn't quite place it. Inside the box was a single piece of paper with a cryptic message. The forgotten melody holds the key. 5 lives hang in the balance. You have 72 hours. Sarah's mind raced. Was this a threat? A plea for help? Or something else entirely? Before she could ponder further, her phone rang. It was the chief, his voice tense. Chen, we've got a situation. 5 prominent musicians have gone missing in the last 24 hours. No signs of struggle, no ransom demands. It's like they vanished into thin air. Sarah's eyes darted back to the music box. Chief, she said slowly, I think I might have a lead, but you're not going to believe it. The next 48 hours were a whirlwind of activity. Sarah and her team worked around the clock, chasing down every possible lead. They interviewed family members, colleagues, and fans of the missing musicians. They combed through financial records, social media accounts, and surveillance footage. But it was the music box that consumed Sarah's thoughts. She had the lab analyze it, revealing that it was at least a century old. The melody it played was identified as an obscure composition from the late 1800s, written by a relatively unknown composer named Ethan Blackwood. As Sarah dug deeper into Blackwood's history, she uncovered a tragic tale. The composer had been on the verge of fame when his magnum opus, a complex, multi-part symphony, was stolen. Blackwood died in obscurity, his greatest work lost to time. But how did this connect to the missing musicians? Sarah's breakthrough came when she realized that each of the 5 missing persons specialized in a different instrument: piano, violin, cello, flute, and percussion. The same instruments featured prominently in Blackwood's Lost Symphony. With only hours left before the deadline, Sarah made a startling connection. The melody from the music box was just a small part of a larger composition. What if the 5 musicians had been brought together to play the Lost Symphony? But why? And by whom? As the clock ticked down, Sarah followed her hunch to an abandoned concert hall on the outskirts of the city. The building had once been grand, but now stood in disrepair, its glory faded with time. As she approached, she could hear faint strains of music drifting through the air. Sarah signaled to her backup team to surround the building, then carefully made her way inside. The sight that greeted her in the main hall was both bizarre and breathtaking. The 5 missing musicians sat in a semicircle, playing their instruments with an intensity that bordered on mania. Their eyes were glazed, seemingly unaware of their surroundings. In the center stood a figure draped in shadows, conducting with fluid, almost hypnotic movements. As Sarah watched, transfixed, she realized the melody coming together. It was the full version of the tune from the music box, but so much more complex and beautiful. "Freeze! Police!" Sarah shouted, snapping out of her trance and drawing her weapon. The shadowy conductor turned, and Sarah gasped. It was an elderly man, his face a web of wrinkles, eyes burning with a fanatic light. "You're too late, detective," he said, his voice cracking with emotion. "The symphony is almost complete. My great-grandfather's work will finally be heard." Suddenly Sarah understood. This was Ethan Blackwood's descendant, obsessed with bringing his ancestors' lost masterpiece to life. He had somehow found a way to control the musicians, forcing them to play the piece that had been lost for over a century. As the music swelled to a crescendo, Sarah noticed the musicians beginning to slump in their chairs, their life force seemingly draining away with each note. In a split-second decision, Sarah lunged forward and knocked over the antique music stand in front of the conductor. The sheet music scattered across the floor, breaking whatever spell had been cast. The musicians snapped out of their trance, confused and disoriented. As Sarah's team rushed in to secure the scene, she handcuffed the still protesting conductor. In the aftermath, as paramedics tended to the rescued musicians, Sarah picked up a page of the scattered sheet music. The notes seemed to shimmer on the page, and for a moment she could almost hear the haunting melody in her mind. She quickly shook off the sensation and bagged the evidence. Some mysteries, Sarah decided, were better left unsolved. As she left the old concert hall, the forgotten melody faded away. once again lost to time, but this time for the better.